아 조금
안녕하세요
늦었네.
하이.
늦었네.
Rogex 1RL. 안녕하세요 하이. Another kt-jdg viewer. 안녕하세요 하이.
3세트는 또 세이브다.
안녕하세요
3세트는 또
하이.
세이브예요.
Palisadra. 안녕하세요 하이. O1ella. 안녕하세요 하이.
목소리 좀 잘 들리게. 왜?
And aiming, there's a reason why I was
나와,
actually
씨, 왜
expecting to
이래.
continue banning Desire. It's because it's not traditionally
이거를
one of
한
the best champions,
18
right? It's
데시벨로.
the Zeri, the Kai'Sa, those players really excels in BDD. Might be in
됐고.
trouble here, but will
오.
respect, not going to get taken out. But the fact that he already is being put this far behind in the pure 2v2 with Kanavi not even
뭐야 조합이
just
왜 이래?
looking towards that bot lane, it's a really big early win for JDG.
시비르가 들어와 있네. 그럼 상체 조합 한다는 건데? 이게 카이 그 자야를 시비르로 대처하는 게 안 된다는 거를 이제 깨달았을 텐데 아직도 몰라? 진동이 뱀피기에 뭔가 있나 보네 뭔가. 이게 대처가 안 되는데?
Gets taken down extraordinarily low. Gets a bit of a heal though, as the Gleaming Quill did connect. KT, they'll have to just accept a decent trade here on this bottom side. Unless Lehens can find a hook. Here in the mid lane, Kanavi and Knight just trying to get Knight a good back timer. Trying to get this lane in a better position.
Trying to see if they can spot out PDD before he hits that level 6. For everyone at home, see the purple bar just underneath the faces of each of the champions. That's what is the XP bar. So you can see Knight there just ticking over to level 6. So keep your eyes on it as Kanavi and Cuz find each other again.
Yeah, Kanavi down a bit of a shot here across the bow. Cuz finds the shattering strike. It's just a 1v1. Neither of these bottom lanes too interested. Wave getting stacked up here by JDG. They have some control. That means Cuz has to back away. Into the river goes Knight as well. Always seems to be hovering, ready to help out here towards this bottom side. This is that play that you were talking about, Dacta. They're going to go for this first dragon. Don't think KT can do too much about it, although Cuz is
봅시다.
moving in
밥 먹느라고
towards this
좀
bottom
지금
lane,
집중이 안
looking
돼
for a possible
있긴
gank
한데.
angle. They do get the spell shield out of Ruler. That's now on cooldown, and now they're looking to chase out Cuz. In the meantime, they are just taking the dragon.
And this is where the early lane pressure from Ruler
근데 자야 억제 어떻게 할 거냐? 자야 억제를 해야 되는데.
They have Prio on the wave. Cuz tries to go for something there with both summoners being available for Ruler as well as missing. There's just no shot you're ever going to get them as Ruler flashing his jet. That's like he's flashed multiple different ones as well. And maybe Lehens caught an eye of that one. Of course, was on Gen G for all of last year. Speedy D eats a shockwave, but not going to be too bothered. And the Halo Blades, I think, really allows the Azir to play pretty consistently aggressive in that mid lane.
And you can see the results. I mean, a 10 CS lead for BDD in that mid lane. He's been doing a great job of punishing Knight in these early stages. And you can see once you get access to that Orianna ult, if there's no
뭔가 둘 다 한타 조합을 뽑아가지고 얘기할 거리가 없네. 탑에서는 그냥 스플릿 한타 둘 다 좋은 거 뽑았고. 뭐 얘기할 게 없어.
Yeah, Knight. Not a lot of mana available here, as we can see, but he's going to be able to get that last cog out and does manage to.
뭐 서로 그냥 무난한 상황이네요. 전령이랑 용 나눠 가지면서 그냥 대충 하겠네.
Grab some more of his camps. As far as gold is concerned, there is nothing to talk about really at all, outside of the fact that one dragon was picked up by JDG.
And it's a pretty uneventful early game, and I think looking at the champions, you can argue that both really benefit from this, right? I think that the combination of specifically Azir and Xayah has been really tough to deal with in late game.
희한하네.
Jax is self-explanatory.
아니 오자마자 이렇게 잔잔한 경기가 펼쳐지는 거야?
So really will come down, I think, to how the mid game is set up here, because either of these two teams, if you do get control and you start getting ahead, hit those item breakpoints, it can be really hard to consistently fight fights on the other end.
The Hens has level 6 here though. You can see Missing just ticking over. Ruler and Aiming both still don't have theirs available as Ruler just now gets it. I think a lot of this for JDG is we want to try and slow push out this bot wave so we can either look towards the Rift Herald or at least get some hurt onto the Hens. Orianna having that quicker reset in mid also gives her the tempo advantage there. So JDG just slowly but surely kind of working their way up towards this Rift Herald to secure that one again.
Yeah, Lehens actually going to get spotted here by Missing. He does grand entrance over to him. It looks like JDG will just claim this Rift Herald.
진동이 둘 다 가져갔는데?
Test here from KT.
이러면은
They were beaten to the punch on this one. Kanavi will collect the iron. That is some money in waiting. Lehens, will he actually invest? No. Decides to hold on to it. Depth charge kept in the back pocket. Missing. Once again rotating over BDD, looking for an opportunity. Level 8.
The low health bar Missing could set up for a potential play onto the bottom half of the map though. Missing is trying to hope Knight keep control of mid wave to prevent that happening. But with Missing now being taken low and having low mana, the Hen's going to be able to move bot. But with Cuz staying on this top end of the map, I don't really think you have an opportunity to really go for much.
Both supports just doing exactly the same thing, invading enemy jungle, setting up a ward, and then immediately recalling.
오오 리아나.
Yeah, I wouldn't have
안녕하세요,
minded
하이.
무난하네요.
Vmec. 안녕하세요, 하이. 8HV day. 안녕하세요, 하이.
Kanavi is hiding in the shadows though.
Yeah, Cuz looking for that opportunity. Well done, it comes
Wow.
down. There's the Magnus Storm.
게임인가?
First blood goes to Keen though. Empress Divide going to be used for the disengage, and they'll take a plate along with it.
야,
Where'd he
이거는
go? You blink and
까비네,
369 is gone. Had his flash, wasn't expected to be burst out that heavily. Even Kanavi invested his flash to try and get there, was too late to
야,
the
정확하게 알고
I think that
있었는데
they
역게임.
knew that Cuz was on his way up, but I don't know if they knew about BDD as well. So I think with this play, they were ready to try and fight for the 2v2.
여기서 같이
But you
들어갔어.
see, the moment that BDD shows up, the 100-0 is just there. No
왜 근데
trade
기인한테
tactic
들이박았지?
available, and Kanavi just doesn't get to
희한하네.
join the play soon enough.
Great ultimate from BDD.
렐한테 막았어야지
Disengage
렐이
there as
죽을
well, and
텐데,
that was
그죠?
exactly what I wanted to see from KT. JDG had already gotten control of Dragon.
카나비의
They got
판단이
the
오늘
Rift
좀
Herald.
좋지
They
않다?
kind of slowly but surely were starting to pick up speed, but disrupting that top side now, getting that kill for the Jax, and using the lane pressure that BDD should be able to get is exactly how KT can try and get this tempo back in their favor.
Not going to be too much of an issue as far as the global objectives are concerned, though. Of course, JDG will be able to get back out onto the map, contest for this next dragon. Going to be the mountain here. Will take either team a very long time to take down. Of course, the huge health pool of that particular dragon. They should still be able to contest vision.
And the biggest win, I think, there for KT is that they are both getting the teleport from Knight, and Kanavi will not have flash. So that does mean that if they try to contest for this upcoming Drake, which I do think
뭐
both
초반에
teams are
이렇게
gonna be
포탑방패
looking
1킬
towards,
뭐 이런 거는 별로 의미 없고요.
it is something that
한타로
maybe
가야
they
돼.
get to utilize. Knight obviously in mid should still be able to join, but maybe a little bit later. Maybe
오늘 뭐
KT can
KT도
get
보니까
that
한타
back in.
집중력 밀리지 않는 것 같던데.
Sorry, I don't think JDG can contest KT here. I mean, even the fact Radiant Virtue now complete on Cuz, thanks to that assist that he'd had, he's going to be in a great spot. You're going to get a reset coming through first here from BDD. I don't think he'll have his mythic, but just being in a position to follow up, and also
ASMR_Miu. 안녕하세요, 하이.
선생님,
Project Zomboid.
Maybe JDG
종경 평양. 온라인 게임은 특정 레벨까지
Missing is not
스트리머입니다.
afraid of anything.
유일별로
자,
다른
용.
게임들을 할
이거는 용 뭐
예정입니다.
굳이 무리해서 먹을
명령을
필요 없죠.
통보해주세요.
돼지 쓰레기용이니까.
It is a little bit a bit heart attack worthy.
그 진동
perhaps.
입장에서
As he moves down towards Ruler once again. Lahens still on the chase. Got a bit of a fight here towards his top side as well, as we can see. 369 landing a few of these abilities, but I believe he's already put his World Ender on cooldown. Keen trading ultimates.
Oh, Kanavi does have to find
전령을 풀어야 된단
And
말이지.
KT doesn't look like they're starting a dragon right now. So should be an opportunity here for JDG to contest with the Mythic Spike also being available. There's also still a Herald that can be put down. So JDG have the option. Do we go for the 4v4 or do we send the Herald and get some plates?
I think it's going to be the Herald angle. I thought maybe we get BDD try and fully push mid, reset, TP back in with his Mythic, because I'm pretty sure now he should have enough gold for it. But when Mythic's just been plonked down in mid, JDG want to look for the fight.
Yeah, reset comes through on the dragon. Now it's JDG that is set up. Cuz moving on over, spotted on the ward, missing, always knows what's going on here as BDD
뭐 전령이랑 용 바꾸는 거면 뭐 그렇게 좋진 않은데 진동
It
입장에서.
looks like it is going to be two Drakes going over to JDG in trade. But no
탑에다
money
풀지,
picked up
차라리.
from that Rift Herald.
아닌가?
So two plates, I guess.
아닌가? 근데
And it's
미드가
gonna be
맞는 것 같긴
Earth, Wind,
하다.
and Fire, boys. This is,
못 오게 해야 되니까.
we can group tonight, guaranteed. As okay, Cuz is
어?
just gonna get caught out. The Magnus Storm is
모임?
gonna be used, but more of just a celebration
아,
of the circles.
약화정
JDG,
들어간
they'll grab a
거구나.
red buff as well.
I mean, great pick off. You get the dragon. I was about to say, as long as KT are playing this safe, they should be able to
이런 게
slow
이제
down the
또
pace of the
진동의
game, get
강점
the
중에
zero time
하나죠.
to scale. Look at
한 번 더.
Aiming, Keen getting to positions where they're super happy, but Kanavi playing off of the wave pressure that he had, immediately going, and now Keen, what's happening here?
Yeah, I don't know how we got to this point, but it's not exactly great news. 369 really feeling good about how this one's working. Okay.
죽나?
Keen doesn't have a lot of options, and now Counter-Strike is on cooldown as well.
아이고,
Here
살았네.
comes BDD though. Keen can't
어어?
get the kill. There it is for 369.
아이고.
Empress Divide. He's going to
존나
pick that
이득이죠.
one up, but BDD has
전멸
to
하나에
use
궁극기 둘.
flash, and it's a
아, 전멸들을
1-for-1 in the
궁극기
end.
하나.
That was pixels away from missing from 369. Just barely catch some
자,
dark
이제
blade. Now the TP up to top side just to try and keep that CS in favor of JDG.
Yeah, like that, able to get the plate on mid. BDD will not be able to pick up the wave and then simultaneously guard the top side plates. as we've seen Lance in this position before. Can they actually win the 2v2 though? I'm not so sure. Yeah, Lance is like,
Oh.
gets
He's
cancelled.
getting it interrupted as well as now Ruler gets all of that extra movement speed. Boomerang blade landing as well. Every bit of damage secured by the Sivir. Getting a little bit scary even with just one item. Of course, the scaling of Sivir is just ridiculous.
Seven
Not
Bullet.
necessarily something that
안녕하세요 하이.
It means now Lehens is going to be late on the reset. He wants to try and get up towards this Rift Herald. Missing, poking his head in around again, but he knows he's got the advantage when it comes towards moving up towards his top end. Ruler has already disappeared into mid lane to catch that wave, so just a nice opportunity, but we won't get any more information into what happened here. Unfortunately, we're just going to get to see Keen go down.
And here the problem is Keen doesn't actually have any mana available, right? 369 does a really good job of not getting hit by the initial counter strike, and then hits him with the flash. If you invest that flash and BDD still kills you and Keen gets out, could have been a disaster. Instead, you trade 1 for 1, and you're really happy on the play because of the response that came through. As Teleport coming through, aiming.
He's gone real aggressive. Does manage.
야, 이거 룰러한테나 보던 장면이 에이밍한테도 나오네.
Wow.
Just going to do a bit of damage.
룰러가 하던 건데.
It's a counter punch because on the top side of the map, K or JDG are picking up the Herald.
That's the problem though. They're probably going to pick up top
자,
tower.
이제 2차 전령 싸움. 바텀은 이제
And they
포기하겠다.
could potentially go for the mid lane actually. Top lane's a bit too healthy, but I think you'd be able to trade this pretty effectively. So in the grand scheme of things, I'd rather get this mid lane tower here for JDG than
미드를 밀겠죠.
Well, the lane economy snapshot provided by Mastercard is pretty good for Kanavi.
근데 뭐 아지르라서 미드가 있는 것처럼 할 수는 있으니까.
Rift Herald going to come down though and try and even that score and maybe even a kill onto the Jax also, but they decide not to commit for it because of course not going to bite off more than they necessarily need to. No plates came with that turret though, but that is not very far away from dead.
It still forces
조금 세게 했으면 깼을 수도 있는데 굳이 그러지 않았네.
JDG continuously pushing in these side waves and getting a lot of damage down there. Looks like Knight will be able to pick it up. And BDD
misses the Emperor's Divide. Be able to get out of there. Knight only needed the dissonance movement speed for that one as well. Holds onto the flash.
아, 렐이 먼저 오고 있었어가지고.
Yeah, I think BDD just tried to get the flash there. Even by yourself, I don't know if you actually have enough damage unless anyone else shows up to take down. Still going to be a win for Knight. Gets the turret, gets to keep his summoners, and gets to go back with an extra bag of gold.
And as well now with a minute until this next dragon, you're going to be in a great position here for JDG. Not having that Emperor's Divide makes it hard to make a play up towards BDD, so you're keeping your eyes on Kuz to see what he can potentially do and finding the pick.
오늘은 벨베스 안 나오고 끝나겠네.
When I look at the items that have been picked up for JDG, they are in such a good spot to try and contend with KT when it comes to this next objective, especially when the resets start to come through for the final little bit for Ruler.
And we just need to see who's going to be able to find the team fight on their terms. JDG, a team incredibly adept at getting that. The wombo combo from this composition, fantastic. I find it a little bit of a worry though when there is the Azir from BDD on the other side of things.
뭔가 누가 딱 이기겠다 이런 생각은 안 드는데. 너무
너무
반반이에요.
KT will try and get away. They will be successful.
You start to see as well.
미드를 또 밀릴 것 같아요.
Already Keen pushing in. But if they don't actually catch anyone on JDG, JDG is just going to be able to bounce the waves back. Both teams fighting for this dragon.
상대가 흩어지니까는 이제 1점으로 다시 보여가지고.
Can't allow JDG to get soul point this early on.
오, 좋아.
Absolutely massive. Keen taking a big chunk there, about a third of his health bar.
오, 좋아.
From an attack dissonance combo. These commands from the Orianna. KT looking to close in.
싸대기 한대.
It's a familiar area. Opposite sides of the rift though.
이런 거 한 방 한 방이 또 도움이 많이 되거든요. 오히려 좋지 않나 이러면? BDD가 밀어줘가지고 두 명이 수성 걸렸죠. BDD님 감사합니다. 이 에이밍이 안 온 게 이제 신의 한 수였죠. 끝. 깔끔. 미드까지 딱 밀었네.
As the people on KT a little bit too far forward, they see the moment of weakness, a lot of investment, but 2 kills, a mid lane turret, and soul points.
BDD님
And
감사합니다.
it's an absolute disaster for KT. The positioning there on River just wasn't what they wanted at all. They set up too many angles of attack for JDG, and they just realized it that little bit too late, and that's when the panic starts to set in. And I want to have a look when we get into this replay as to how it actually sets off, because you can see where 369 is coming from. He has an incredible position, but I think the panic goes from KT is what comes back to bite.
I'm also wondering what happened to aiming in that fight, right? Because he wasn't able to actually do any damage. BDD obviously bought a little bit of time, but wasn't nearly enough.
죽었는데?
And you know, this is not taking into account that this is JDG ruler.
그거잖아. 이거 누가 이렇게 건방지게 이렇게 앞에 나와 있나? 욕을 먹고 정비를 해야지. 이 사람. 아니 이거 아까 자기들이 정글에서 한 거를 까먹었나 봐요.
You know, sometimes it's nice to see that some things stay the same as ruler, and that's actually really big because that means that there is no flash on the Sivir as we go back to the previous fight.
I want to watch here though, because you've got the flank here, you've got the flank coming through, but watch these panic ults that come through from BDD and Cuz. So as the ult comes through from BDD, the magnetic storm keeps Kanavi on BDD. It means he doesn't get the separation. BDD's pushed down, and BDD is going down again.
감사합니다.
He's gonna get taken out in this one. Aiming trying to offer some damage back, but they are some tanky members of JDG now.
감사합니다 투.
Versus 3, but does have BDD waiting in the wings. The magnet storm
데미지
comes
모자랄
through.
텐데.
BDD trying to get the autos across is now aiming is going to join the fight. BDD still at full health, swoops in.
오, 오 이거 사는 거 레전드.
Dash out of there immediately.
이건 죽었고.
Rule is trying to pop up, but he can't actually get to this fight because Kanavi's already dead. Keen looking for an opportunity. Infernal chains leap strike to the ward and Keen
야
gets out.
징동도 근데 어지간하다.
Of a great play from Missing and Kanavi, but then KT is able to turn it around. It will be a 1-for-1 trade, I think, but the kills going over to aiming is a big win for them.
I mean, the fact you get those kills, but also massively whiffs Shockwave by night. Does absolutely nothing in that fight, and it means that Kanavi ends up having to go forward, try to get into position where he can follow through, and KT, they needed something to try and slow down this momentum, and that might have just been it.
I think Kanavi was ready to run away with this game, sitting at 1-0 and 3. And it all started with the hens getting caught.
Very reminiscent of the play they set towards bot side, right? It's just Rakan.
매복에
It
당해버렸구만.
actually is big. And then here it feels initially like KT overplayed their hand with Cuz getting focused, but this is Aftershock Rel, so Cuz, very tanky, is able to absorb the initial damage.
And I like Missing trying to get onto BDD here to keep him out of the fight, but great positioning, sets it back up. Now watch the Shockwave, flashed away by BDD.
BDD가 어떻게 딱 저길 막아버렸네.
Absolutely nobody. And then look at BDD, blinking health bar in the back line. 369 and Ruler late to the fight because Ruler got
설계
picked off in the
지렸다,
early stage
그쵸?
underneath that mid tower. So KT punishing JDG really well for that overextension.
Yeah, on the hunt was used there by Ruler to try and get into the fight, but just wasn't there for it. Nice opportunity capitalized on there by KT, but it's going to need more than that to get them over the line.
The big thing here is that KT needs to win the next Drake fight. There are 1k gold down.
아직 몰라. 게임은 아직 한참 남았고요. 이거 한타로 결정이 되는 조합이다 보니까 그냥 한타 꽝 해갖고 끝나면 그냥 끝나요. 아직 한참 남았어.
Spotted, I believe.
BDD 전멸 빠진 게 뭐 타격이긴 나이트도 전멸 없고 뭐 근데 지금 싸울 만한 건덕지가 없죠. 당분간 한 20, 한 3, 4분간은 계속 이러고 있을 거야. 욕 나오기 전까지는.
He's just hoarding information. Missing just has he's a database, man.
그냥 사이드 밀고
Nothing is
뭉치고.
missing.
No, he's named completely wrong.
I will say though, it's like this is exactly how JDG want to play it. If Eddie did a great job of highlighting it coming into today, is like, hey, we want to look for a pick before these objectives fights start off. We don't want you to actually fight us on an even footing. We want to make sure you're behind coming in with no.
I think they're going.
Yeah, they're on the Baron. Ruler's going to move back to the mid lane now. 369 has the earlier track towards this Baron pit. Knight moving in. Yeah, going to have to back away from this.
근데 게이트 이런 건 좋다.
Scoped it out. I do like an opportunistic play. I also like backing away when you feel scared.
게이트가 이제 할 수 있는 것이 무엇이냐. 용싸움 해야 돼요. 용싸움 때 지금 바론 때 한번 딱 나왔으니까는 이번에 시야를 한번 상대가 먹을 거란 말이야. 용 쪽에.
Heavy vision in that bottom side of the map for JDG that they'll look to try and use. Push for Ruler in this mid lane as well. Going to make it very
바론으로 가나요?
difficult
설마?
for KT
역바론?
to test when JDG
역바,
are
역바?
looking to take this vision back.
바텀라인 푸시하면서 역바론? 느낌이 그런데?
Only has one ultimate, right? Like he can try
느낌이 좀
and get
그거
away from
아니네.
either 369 or Kanavi.
아니 징동이 저런 걸 잘해요.
If he's not able to position
타이밍
himself
맞춰가지고 또
actively,
역바론을
which
아주
has been
기가
a
막히게
really
하는
big issue
팀이라.
for this player, which is why his Zeri and his Kai'Sa are some of his strongest picks. He won't be able to have a big impact in the team fights, and a lot of the gold is on in. BDD though and Knight both sitting on exactly the same items. Sorkpan boots, Shadow Flame and Ludens. They're basically dealing true damage to any non-tank that they hit.
Right now we're about to go full A-Rap though. You're gonna see both teams trying to commit, and KT, yeah, they're just
설마
gonna
또
go
KT가?
for the Baron area again, try and put pressure onto JDG. Because if you think KT, if they find a moment like that where BDD gets over the wall, punishes JDG for the lack of information, that's where they can come back. Keen sneaking up through bot side. He hasn't been spotted.
제가 용이 떴거든요. 근데 용은 개똥 쓰레기 용이라 가지고 뭐 별로 중요하지 않을 거예요. 용 주고 바론을 먹을 생각을 할 것 같거든요. 진동은. 뭐 명분도 있겠다. 막아야 된다는 명분도 있죠. 우선권은 징동한테 있긴 합니다.
The thing though is that JDG is the one who actually hold all the cards because they don't have to go for this dragon. This is just an individual Cloud Drake for KT. So if KT overinvests, JDG just goes to Baron, takes that. There is enough vision though when we see Cuz and Lahan's A looking as Keen is in a flank.
이니시 좋았는데 지금 딜러진이랑 거리가 너무 멀어. 딜러진이랑 거리가 너무 멀어요. KT. 뭐 요거는 너 어느 팀이 잘못했다 잘했다가 아니고 그냥 거리 차이였던 것 같아. 비슷비슷하다.
So KT is forced to commit to this play, but there is no one's actually put enough threat on Ruler. He just gets to stand there and gun them down.
And you're in the blender at that stage. As soon as you try to move through these choke points, Orianna ult, Sivir, Ricochet's bouncing through everyone. You called it here. As you get
이니시 좋았는데 솔직히 말해서 뒤에 들어가지 않았다는 거 빼면은.
gets out of position so you don't catch him. And missing is causing so many issues on the back line alongside Kanavi that they can't actually get into a position to threaten onto JDG.
여기서 이렇게 딱 아깝게.
They know moving through that choke point is just going to be the demise of you. So they
일단 바람 영혼.
TP in towards this grab.
개똥 쓰레기 영혼이기 때문에 뭐 별로 중요하진 않습니다.
I think they're feeling mighty threatened, but everyone on JDG is ready. There's no way this is going to be working out.
No, certainly not. As Hook is going to get Lahen's in, but he doesn't really want to. This ward will get turned off for now as BDD dealing with all of these ricochets flying in.
근데 또 11이랑 조합되면 몰라. 이속이 빨라지기 때문에 이속이 거기다가 같이 빨라져 버리면은 또 좋으니까요. 뭐 누가 템 나오? 그러네. 3코어 떴네 룰러가. 죽진 않을 것 같은데? 이걸 죽어? 서로 탑 잡기? 야 이걸 버텨? 야 이걸 이걸? 진짜 슈퍼플레이 지렸다. 죽었다 이거는. 다 죽었다. 수고하셨습니다. 예, 한타 꽝 해갖고 하는데 한타가 아니라 이거는 그냥 개별 전투가 돼버렸지. 지금 3코어가 딱 떠가지고 룰러가 공교롭게도 수고하셨습니다. 이거는 뭐 근데 예상하지 못한 전개네요. 솔직히 말해서 나는 바론에서 싸워도 바론에서 싸우지 않을까 아니면은 뭐 오브젝트에서 하지 않을까 했는데 너무 허망하게 져버렸어. 허망딸이 허망따. 역시 징동이다. 뭐 게임에서 볼 거는 딱히 없었고요. 사실 뭐 부시에서 매복해가지고 그 서포터 잘 끊어낸 거? 뭐 그 정도 하나라 이번에 요 한타밖에 볼 게 없어 사실. 한번 한타를 좀 보죠. 방금 요 앞에 한타가 뭐 어떻게 된 건지 모르겠는데 여기서는 일단 됐고 바텀에서 여기서 서포터를 노린 거랑 탑을 노린 거랑 약간 차이가 있었네. 이게 봐봐 포지셔닝이 갈리네요. 얘 서포터 미싱을 노릴 때 미싱이 워낙 잘 빠져버리니까 그 다음에 이제 카나비를 다시 보았는데 카나비도 소시계로 생존 딸이 그 사이에 그 핵심 딜러진 한 명을 끊어버렸기 때문에 이제 한타가 질 수가 없다. 이렇게 됐다. 포지셔닝이 그래갖고 다 잘 흘렸다. 미싱의 슈퍼캐리다. 미싱 카나비의 슈퍼캐리인데 그 중에서도 미싱이 조금 더 비중이 높다 라고 할 수 있겠습니다. 끝. 야 근데 경기가 이렇게 깔끔하게 끝나냐?